Getting you straight to breaking news at noon. Aurora police are investigating after a 4-year-old was taken to a medical clinic with a gunshot wound. This is a live look at the Kaiser Permanente urgent care clinic where that child was taken. And right now we do not know the child's condition. Aurora police says they got a call after just 10:30 when the 4-year-old showed up at the urgent care clinic. This is near Aurora Town Hall Mall. Now they believe the 4-year-old was shot at their home nearby. We are working to find out more information, and we're going to bring it to you as soon as we learn more. We are staying on top of breaking news. We brought you at the top of this newscast. We're getting an update from police right now about a shooting in Aurora. Let's listen in.
All right, perfect. Agent Matthew Longshore, Longshore, Public Information Officer for the Aurora Police Department. What I can tell you about just before 10:30 this morning, we responded to the urgent care here at Exposition in Sable on reports of a 4-year-old little boy that had just arrived with what we now know is a gunshot wound. Officers quickly responded, located the boy and his mother, and the boy was taken to the local children's hospital where he is currently receiving treatment. The mother is also with him at the hospital. What we know is the incident actually happened in the apartments just directly behind me off of Center Point. Initial details are not a lot, unfortunately. The mother said that she heard a gunshot in the house and then found the 4-year-old suffering from the gunshot wound. We do not believe, though, that it was a self-inflicted. We do believe that there was someone in the house that was possibly playing with the firearm when the little boy was shot. There are people that were in the house, including the child's father, at the time of incident that are no longer in the house, so we have officers that are searching for that man now to kind of question him to figure out what his involvement is and why he decided to leave. There was another person transported from this house. It was Grandma who had a medical incident happen. She was also taken to the hospital, but she was not shot. We have investigators from our Crimes Against Children unit in coordination with our Major Crimes unit investigating this incident. And hopefully we'll be able to figure out through interviews and evidence collection kind of what happened leading up to the shooting.
Right now, are you considering this an accidental shooting by a child? Was there another child in there with him? How do you guys classify?
Yeah, there were multiple children in the house, as well as mom and dad. Mom took the little boy across the street to the urgent care, and dad left. And so we're trying to track dad's location down, figure out why it is that he did leave the house after the shooting, and figure out what his involvement is.
Was the mother aware of a weapon in the house?
That's a good question. I don't know if mother was aware or not, something that investigators are going to figure out when they try to go talk to her later.
Was there any type of altercation or argument or loud voices heard before the shooting at all?
I don't believe so. That was not relayed.
Can you confirm you believe this gun was in the house or belonged to someone in the house?
It is our belief at this point that someone in the house did possess that weapon, and we're going to have a team of detectives out here. They're going to have a search warrant for the house. They've got to go through the courts to get that. They'll go through and see if they can find any evidence, including any weapon or anything else that could help in their investigation. But right now it's unclear if a firearm's been recovered.
And where was that child shot?
We won't, for the privacy of the family, going to relay where the child was shot at this time. He is in the hospital with critical injuries. So, if you do pray, please pray for him and the family. This is probably a very tough time for them right now, and the child certainly has a long road ahead of them.
How did the mom get the boy? Did she run him across, or did she?
I don't know if she ran or drove. I believe she drove. We did locate a vehicle that we towed, so I believe that mom did drive over here.
But then they took them to children's first.
Correct. The child was transported to Children's Hospital.
Do you have an identification on dad, and do you know if he has warrants out?
We do have everyone's identification. We're not releasing those at this time. Dad's not a suspect at this moment, so unless he is a suspect, we won't release his identity.
And to follow up on her question, she asked where the child was shot. I think you meant like on the body, right? And I'm asking where inside the home. Was it like in the living room or the bathroom or the kitchen, or do you know?
I don't know exactly. It's my understanding it was in a back bedroom.
And when you talk about the grandmother having a medical emergency, was that separate from this, or was that gunshot related?
She was not shot. It was a separate medical related incident.
Was it perhaps because of what had happened inside the home? She might have been overcome with emotion or something like that?
I can imagine a traumatic situation like this where your 4-year-old grandbaby gets shot. It can be quite emotional for everyone in the house. I don't know if it was related to that or other health concerns, but we're certainly, providing support to the family at the hospital and grandma as well.
So even if this was
Who's on scene right now? We saw an officer in there. Are they watching the children who are still in the house? Without
I don't believe any children are left in the house. So the officers are there as a securing the crime scene. We want to make sure that no one enters or exits the house without us knowing about it.
But no other people are still in the house.
No other people are in the house.
so
And
even if
where are
this
the
is
children? Sorry.
Well, one child is shot in the hospital. The other one is with grandma at the other hospital.
And there were only 2 then in the house?
I believe there are only, I believe there's a third child. We believe the third child is with dad.
Okay. And do we have any ages on those other children?
I don't.
so even if this is an accidental discharge, this could still be a crime, correct?
This could still be a crime. It depends on circumstances leading up to the shooting. It could depend on if anyone in the house is prohibited from owning firearms. Certain things like that can help build a case, and someone could get charged.
Unsafe storage of a weapon.
Unsafe storage, right? That's a pretty recent state law that passed.
That would be if maybe a child was able to access a weapon, right? But then there's other scenarios that could exist that maybe somebody else had the weapon out already and the gun could have discharged when someone else had it out.
Yeah, and that's why we're trying to find dad. We want to figure out how dad was involved and why it is he left. Was it him manipulating the firearm? Do you leave the firearm out and another kid grabbed the firearm and fired the shot? That's certainly something that investigators are, one, going to talk to mom about, but two, hopefully when we find dad, we can ask dad about.
Are they married? You say dad. Is a couple married?
I'm not sure if they're married or not.
Do you know, did mom get interviewed yet?
I don't know if detectives have had a chance to actually interview mom formally. I know certainly when we responded to the urgent care, we have officers and detectives at the hospital at Children's right now. They're going to try to speak with her. There will be some sort of formal interview with her. This is a pretty serious incident. And so we have our detectives, not only from our Crimes Against Children unit, but our Major Crimes unit that are responding out here, conducting these interviews. We'll have crime scene investigators on scene shortly, and they'll be the ones, once we have a search warrant, they'll be able to go through the house and document everything they see.
Now, was this unusual that we didn't have more officers out here earlier? Is there a reason why this is all still to come?
Well, something like this where there's multiple scenes, right? We have the incident location just behind me where we know the crime occurred. We have the urgent care on the other side of me. That's where mom took the baby, and then we have Children's Hospital where the baby is currently. And then we take grandma into consideration. So that's technically 4 different scenes the officers are at right now, either providing support to family or investigating this crime. So you might not see a large presence now currently behind me. We have enough officers that can secure the apartment, but we also have officers other locations to make sure that family is supported and that we're trying to get to the bottom of
We're
this.
all assuming handgun, is that right?
I believe it was a handgun, yes.
And do you know the caliber? Did
I
you say
don't.
that?
I don't know the caliber.
And-
A bullet?
Have they recovered
Like a shell casing?
or anything?
I don't know. That'll be something that when our crime scene investigators get here, they'll go through the house. They do a pretty meticulous search, and that's something that they'll document and search to recover if there is one.
You mentioned critical condition. Critical. How serious of an injury? Is it life-threatening?
Yes, it's life-threatening injuries.
Will you put out an all points bulletin for the father at this point? Is this
At this point, no. At this point, we're still trying to determine his exact involvement.
do we have any idea why he left? Did the mother give an indication?
We don't, and that might be something. We have officers at the hospital right now trying to figure out why the dad left. We've got other details that we're following up on currently to try to track dad's location down and talk to him. Right, it's really important that investigators and officers talk to him. So, we want to find him as quickly as we can, figure out what his involvement is, and that way our investigators can use that.
Did you say how the father left, or you didn't know how he left? On foot or in a vehicle?
He left in a vehicle
In a vehicle.
because he has the other child with him as well that we believe is with him.
And then there may be a third child that was inside the apartment, right?
Correct.
Just to be precise, Dad left around the same time Mom left with the child to go to the hospital.
Correct. So Mom went to the hospital. We had an officer in the area that arrived pretty quickly. When they determined that it actually happened behind me and officers responded to this location, Dad was no longer there.
So the father was there when the mother left with the child to the hospital?
I believe so, from our initial gathering, yes.
Do you know if all of these people live at this apartment?
I don't know if they all live there or not.
And going off of that, did we know that the children are siblings or not?
We believe at least 2 of them are related. I'm not sure about the third.
And I'm sorry, the 4-year-old's a boy we're talking about?
Correct, 4-year-old little boy. Anything else? Great.
Just one shot.
At this point, that's all we're aware of is one shot. Hopefully we'll have an update with you guys a little bit later this afternoon, okay? Thank you.